Good morning from day 10. We have just left our hotel, which was on the outskirts of Lalin, hoping to get to Ponferrada today, which is 30 kilometers. We have tried to see if we can make a reservation in the albergue there this evening, the only one, but booking.com is saying that it's sold out. They're not answering the phone or responding to messages at the moment, but we're just ploughing on and going for it because it's chucking it down with rain, and that's also the next best place for us to go to today. So yeah, let's see how that one pans out today. Anyway, it's another wet, windy, rainy day here. Not much else to say other than just get your head down and put one leg in front of the other for 30 kilometers. Okay, so we're coming up on the 13 kilometer mark now. I don't have a great deal to report really. It's been a real mixed bag of a route so far. Had a few stretches where we've been walking along the main road and trucks hurtling past, which is never enjoyable, but thankfully they've been short in their duration. Walked through some nice woodland and a few really old Roman paths where the stones have been quite uneven and wet and slippery, and we've all had to take great care on. That's about it. That's the update. I'd love it if this rain holds off for a bit longer and it's just starting again and I've only just taken my poncho off. That's about it though. So we're at the 25 kilometre mark now, and it's been quite the leisurely stroll today. In terms of difficulty, it's probably one of the easiest days of this whole 10-11 day walk. Currently walking through a eucalyptus tree woodland, and the smell's very, very striking. And yeah, got another hour left to go, and I'm looking forward to getting my feet up now and relaxing. Nothing else to say though, it's been pretty uneventful. So hello from day 11, our final day on the Camino Invierno, and it's a short one. We've only got 20 kilometers to walk. Currently on the freeway, which I never like. The interesting thing actually is there's no one else out walking at all this morning, and that's been the case for the majority of this Camino Invierno, and in fact all of the Camino Invierno. The most people we've ever seen in one day on our whole path have been 8, and they've been the same 8 people. So if you are looking for that quieter Camino route, then this is definitely the one for you. So we've hit the 5 kilometre mark for the morning, and after a brief stint beside the main road, it's all been lovely woodland trail so far. A really pleasant start to the morning. The thing that I will say though is that there's been nowhere to stop for our morning coffee or breakfast yet, and that pretty much reinforces the theme of the whole Camino Invierno really. Okay, 3 and a bit kilometers to go, and we reached Santiago, and that is the end of our Camino Invierno. I should say though, it was a full 15 kilometers today until we reached our first port of call in terms of food. So as you can imagine, we were all pretty starving hungry by the time we got there. Partly our fault though, because we could have gotten a breakfast made up for us in the place that we stayed last night, but we figured, hey, you know, we're only 20 kilometers out from Santiago, there's bound to be loads of places on the way into town, but there weren't, and the ones that we did come across were all closed. So do bear that in mind. I guess it kind of feels like I've been on a weight loss walking boot camp this Camino. I definitely feel like I've lost a few pounds. One other thing I want to add actually is at the end of this video, keep watching, because I'm going to interview, or at least get a piece to camera from Joe, Mo and Gordon about how the Invierno's been for them. I think it's important to, you know, convey other people's accounts and experiences rather than just my own. And because there is a slight generational difference between us all and a few decades, I think it's good to get other people's perspectives. So do keep watching at the end for that. And yeah, gonna tick off those last kilometers now. Well done, guys.
Harry's asked me to do a bit to camera, having finished the Camino Invierno. It took us 11 days to walk. The Invierno is a very different experience to the caminofrances. It's long and it's hard, and very much an up and down walk, and doesn't compare in many ways to the caminofrances. It is a solitary walk and hard graft. But having done it, I am absolutely delighted to have achieved it personally, and for the group of us that walked it. There are some super rewards, and to see the Roman mine workings that are left at Las Medulas was very much for me the high point. To go back 2,000 years of history and to see the bones of the mountain that was excavated by the Romans to produce the gold that kept the empire going for some maybe 400 years. I am pleased to have finished it. I walked in good company and enjoyed most of it. I would just caution that if you're looking for a quieter end to the caminofrances, think very carefully as to whether this is a route for you. For me, this was very much more a walk for the serious hiker.
Okay, for me the Camino Invierno was a big challenge, but it was well worth it. Magnificent views, some magnificent walking, a big challenge for myself. I really enjoyed it. The other part of it was, I think, was good. It's very rural, which was good and bad. So it was bad because there weren't many food stops or cafe stops and a lot of long stretches. But on the plus side, I thought it was great meeting the people. No one spoke English, so forced me to try my limited Spanish, which I really enjoyed. On a slightly kind of more negative, not negative, that's the wrong term, but I think if you don't like dogs, I don't think the Camino Invierno is for you, because there are many guard dogs roaming around. Certain stretches, there was Alsatians, etc., who were very super friendly but roaming free. So me being a bit of a fearty when it comes to dogs, I found that a bit daunting. And the aforementioned thing, the big thing was refuelling stops. There wasn't enough refuelling stops. I think we found it hard, particularly if we hadn't managed to get breakfast before we left. But overall, Invierno, magnificent walk, magnificent challenge, but make sure you're aware of how hard it is, and make sure you're aware of, you know, the lack of opportunity to refuel, and make sure you take food with you when you go walking.
Well, the scenery was stunning, and for the main part the weather was pretty good. Prefer the sunshine to the wind and the rain. The one thing that I would warn people to watch out for is if you're vegetarian, food is kind of limited to no choice whatsoever. If you are going on public holidays, be aware of the fact that Spain pretty much closes and you will either have no choice or limited choice. Pit stops along the way, pretty limited, so carry some food with you.